Hello, Ethioma. I hope you're doing great today.
I guess not, Akosia.
That's true. You don't look so pleasant. What's the problem?
Well, I'm terribly hungry.
Hungry? There's food everywhere.
Food everywhere? You mean, see, I'm fed up with this quick chop for corner road every day.
Now you're talking.
Now I'm talking.
Yes! I have the solution!
Oh, Jesus, what?
Follow me home. My mom is making bengku and okra soup.
Bengku? Say that again.
Bengku and okra soup, silly.
Bengku and okra soup. Okay, which one is this?
It's a delicacy of the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, a West African country. Come with me. I bet you'll love it.
Wow.
My mom will gladly show you the recipe, and then whenever you want it, you can just make it.
That would be exciting. I'm excited and salivating already.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Just like banku and okra soup, Akosa gives you the recipe of the most desired African dishes on Delicacy. Delicacy is every week on APEX1RADIO. Join us on the APEX1RADIO dining table. Then we shall dine together.
Hey, are you there?
Listen to this.
News,
Music,
poetry,
drama,
interviews,
commercials,
and variety shows are all beautifully packaged in one piece and are represented on the #1 radio, APEX1RADIO.
APEX1RADIO.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
APEX1RADIO USA. APEX1RADIO. The best in animation. Culture, sports, entertainment, interview. APEX1RADIO. APEX1RADIO, the best radio. We love African culture.
Hello, Ethioma. I hope you're doing great today.
I guess not, Akosia.
That's true. You don't look so pleasant. What's the problem?
Well, I'm terribly hungry.
Hungry? There's food everywhere.
Food everywhere? You mean, see, I'm fed up with this quick chop for corner road every day.
Now you're talking.
Now I'm talking.
Yes! I have the solution!
Oh, Jesus, what?
Follow me home. My mom is making bengku and okra soup.
Bengku? Say that again.
Bengku and okra soup, silly.
Bengku and okra soup. Okay, which one is this?
It's a delicacy of the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, a West African country. Come with me. I bet you'll love it.
Wow.
My mom will gladly show you the recipe, and then whenever you want it, you can just make it.
That would be exciting. I'm excited and salivating already.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Just like banku and okra soup, Akosa gives you the recipe of the most desired African dishes on Delicacy. Delicacy is every week on APEX1RADIO. Join us on the APEX1RADIO dining table. Then we shall dine together. And of course, we're going to dine together this evening with a chef par excellence. My name is Tande. This is ApexSnapshot using version. Don't go away.
Want to marry back with a woman? Prepare. You must to prepare.
Prepare to eat manaposa. Prepare.
If you want to marry to a woman?
Prepare.
You got to prepare.
Prepare to eat me on the prepare.
If you want to marry with a woman?
Prepare.
You got to prepare.
Prepare to eat babolo. Prepare.
If you want to marry a woman?
Prepare.
You got to prepare.
Prepare to eat a chew. Prepare.
Want to marry as a woman?
Prepare.
You got to prepare.
Prepare to eat bongo chubby. Prepare.
Even if you want to marry my country woman?
Prepare.
You got to prepare.
And so we eat to live. Food sustains life. Food may also be the cause of ailments, and so eating appropriately, or better still, eating healthily keeps us healthy. These are basic things to understand about food. Even without being a nutritionist, kitchen specialist, food manufacturer, ain't anything related to food disciplines, every one of us has a relationship with food. Like eaters or people who eat very little still eat at the end of the day. There are scores of people who hate food, but these same people cannot live if they refuse to eat at all. No matter how small or how sporadically they eat, they still do, without which they cannot live. Staying away from food could also be a huge cause of sickness. Starvation is unarguably a route to death. Away from these basic facts, the food industry is certainly the biggest and most active in the world. It operates like a machine that rattles 24 hours on 7. And if in the United States, for instance, fast food is brisk business, in most, if not all countries in Africa, restaurants are equally a good business. There are roadside restaurants, neighborhood eating houses, dining rooms at workplaces, school canteens, and hotel restaurants. In recent years, the proliferation of mobile restaurants has been prominent in African towns and cities, and people need to eat. In all of these, food professionals play a great role. From the farmer who cultivates, through the transporter, retailer, nutritionist, and chef, the industry has been vibrant and continues to wax on strong. One of the professionals in this food chain who has stood out and is being celebrated, perhaps because their job in the process happens strategically, is the chef. The chef is the final actor who transforms the raw food into edible stuff, and palatability of whatever is consumed largely depends on them. If it tastes bad, the chef shoulders the blame. If it tastes wonderful, the chef gets the kudos. The chef is the artist. They perform creatively to produce the best. Their job goes beyond just making the food taste. The gymnastics which they perform to have the final product also has to be spectacular. A good example are the roadside breakfast chefs found in most African cities. How they display their egg-patching styles could easily whet the appetite of the potential consumer. Otherwise, visit a Japanese steakhouse and see how the chefs add color to the already beautiful cooking profession. And so over the years, the chef has become a celebrity, just like cooking has become a very huge contribution to broadcast content. There are award shows meant for chefs and lots of other ways these people are being recognized and honored. One of the chefs who have printed their names in the Golden Book of Cookery is Tande, aka T. The young Cameroonian chef based in the United States of America has carved her niche and is providing the necessary ingredients to make this discipline even more palatable. That the world should eat healthy is T's prime mission. But cooking sumptuously is a bigger passion. From her Chicago, Illinois kitchen, she beams a cooking slot on two of Cameroon's TV channels, that is the CRTV and Canal Day on Hello and Abella breakfast shows respectively. The set slots Cooking with Therese, which went on the airwaves in 2014, shows T's audience how she does it and at the same time teaches them how they can do it. The rest of the Cooking with Therese story will be told when the venerated chef joins us on the airwaves shortly. Therese Tande is the main guest in this live edition of Apex Snapshot, cuisine version if you wish, reaching you from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America, this day, February the 23rd, 2017. My name is Ernest Kanjo. Welcome on board, listeners. And just stay with us because the best is yet to come.
If you want to marry back with a woman,
Prepare.
you must to prepare.
Prepare to eat manabusa. Prepare.
If you want to marry to a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat me on the prepare.
If you want to marry a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat babala. Prepare.
If you want to marry a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat a chew. Prepare.
If you want to marry as a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat bongo chubby. Prepare.
Even if you want to marry my country woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare. Now today is the prepare.
That is how it is. Anywhere you go to marry a woman,
It is the same enjoyment and the same trouble.
anywhere you go,
It is the same enjoyment and the same trouble.
a woman is a woman, a woman is a woman. No matter the tribe, no matter the color, she can do and she can undo. If you want to marry a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat a chew. Prepare.
If you want to marry my country woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare. Now today is the prepare.
If you want to marry a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat babala. Prepare.
If you want to climb up to the mountain, you
Prepare.
got to prepare. Oh.
Prepare to drink in it. Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, African tradition. Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, African tradition.
If you want to marry back with a woman,
Prepare.
you got to prepare.
Prepare to eat manabusa. Prepare.
If you want to
Beautiful piece of music there in 1992, masterpiece by El Chick A. Chonon titled African Food Collection. And we're talking about food on Apex One Radio this day with Tande. She is a chef par excellence, Cameroonian by birth. And of course, listening to Apex Snapshot cuisine version at exactly 10 minutes past 9 in the studio of Apex One Radio, which should be 10 minutes past 8 in Chicago. Let's move over to Illinois and welcome our guest. Tande, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ernest. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm dandy.
So how is your end of Illinois today?
It's pretty cold, a little rainy. Otherwise, it's the winter, so we expect the weather.
That's beautiful. So now, T, tell me, what did you eat today?
Actually, I had some sautéed gizzard with green and red peppers to go along with steamed quinoa on the side.
Was that for lunch?
That was for lunch.
And what did you take for breakfast?
I had scrambled eggs for breakfast. Just
Beautiful.
scrambled eggs.
Light breakfast.
Very light breakfast.
There are a lot of people who say they don't take breakfast yet. Some nutritionists say it's always good to eat in the morning.
It is. I stick to proteins in the morning because they go further into the day. So I eat eggs in maybe 3-4 different forms.
Okay.
And I do not get hungry again until about 1 p.m. in the afternoon when I have lunch. So breakfast is very important. Breakfast is very important, yes.
Okay. And tell me, do you get to eat tropical breakfast? When I say tropical breakfast, what I mean is like you get up in the morning and instead of just doing scrambled eggs, you go for some heavy meal like kwakuko and banga soup or even fufu corn and jama.
Once in a while, when I'm
Okay.
on vacation or when I'm out of town for a function and you're with people, there's a tendency to go out of the routine, which is okay once in a while, but on a regular basis, no.
Beautiful. Okay, her name is Tande. She is a chef and a nutritionist. She is an expert in this discipline, and she'll be telling us about food in this edition of Apex Snapshot, reaching you from Apex One Radio. The show is produced by Maxwell Ajik from our Varsage Switzerland studio and hosted here in Columbus, Ohio by Ernest Kanjo. So, T, once again, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, given that some of our listeners are coming across you for the very first time, could you just explain your family background?
Well, very briefly, I am an only child, but I grew up in a very large family. I am the granddaughter of the late paramount chief of the Bakwaris, Chief Gervasius Ndela Endeli, and the grandniece of the late Chief SML Endeli, who passed away last year. So very briefly, that's my family background.
Right. And so where did you grow up?
I grew up in Boya. I did spend some vacation in Kumba Road with my aunt and also sometimes in Yaoundé.
And is there anything you would recall when you were growing up? Anything which each time you think about your childhood, it comes to your mind?
Food, amazingly, right? There was always food around. There was always something going on. I guess my mom was that niche for food in the family. There were always people coming around. I remember growing up, we always had a lot of food, and that our house was where the cousins, the aunts, the co-workers, everybody stopped by to come have a bite. So when I think of my childhood, everything surrounds food. We were always trying something different. We were always trying to concoct some new recipe in my house, and even the neighbors loved it.
Right. In the course of the show, we shall also talk about Timanambusa, which happens to be the traditional delicacy from your own part of Cameroon. Right. And what about education? Could you just explain your educational background from elementary to high school level?
Sure. I went to RCM primary school in Boya Town, and then I went to Baptist High School from 1 to 5, and then I went to Seka Baptist High School for high school. I left Seka Baptist High School first term, upper SIP, and came to the United States, and I have been here ever since then.
Right, that's interesting. And what did you study in the university?
My background is in public health with emphasis in health promotion. I have always been an advocate for improving general wellness for individuals, the society, and our environment as in general. I also hold a National Administration certification for short and long-term care administration and administrators.
Right, that's beautiful. She is an advocate for wellness, and she's always been there. Her name is T. Tande. She is our main guest in this live edition of Apex Snapshot on Apex One Radio. T, want to welcome you once again, and just catch your breath. Then we'll be right back with you in just a moment. Meantime on the show today, we shall also be serving very good music. And so, music and food, they go together. And our guest is a Makossa addict. She told me that off mic. Reason why on the show today, you shall be listening to very beautiful classic Makossa. This is Apex Snapshot, listening from Apex One Radio. Special good evening to you, Franca Faith, listening to us from the east side of Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. And we also want to give a very special shout out to our very good friend Cyril Nambangi. Call him Sankara. Cyril, Good evening and thanks for choosing Apex One Radio. He's in Texas. Meantime, we are going to flung our airwaves open so that if you have any question for our guests or any remark, you'll be free to make. Our numbers are 614-500-1232, 614-500-1232. So if you have a question, if you have a remark to make, just press your fingers on this number, 614-500-1232. You can also send us an SMS, text us, WhatsApp us, Facebook us, and reach Apex One Radio in whatever means you can. This is Apex Snapshot, Cuisine Edition. And also in this live edition of Apex Snapshot, we are listening to our resource person number one in charge of art and cultural issues, Ken Shali Monet. But that will be when our main guest would have spoken. And so Ken is going to analyze food today. That's going to be a very interesting one. Once again, for those of you just joining us, this is Apex Snapshot. In just 1 minute, we are going back to Chicago, where our main guest is on standby. In that beautiful piece of music titled Souvenir Cartier, which has brought the time to 20 minutes past 9 in the studio of Apex One Radio, 20 minutes past 8 in Chicago, from where our main guest now joins us. Once again, welcome back, T.
Thank you, Anna.
So, a while ago, you mentioned healthy eating, and you stated emphatically that you are an advocate for healthy eating. Before we get into cookery proper, let's talk about healthy eating. Ayn, is healthy eating part of why you decided to get into this discipline?
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, I have a degree in public health, which focuses on health promotion, which is mainly about wellness, prevention, and nutrition. That background is what I have used to set up CWT, Cooking with Therese, and eventually Wholesome Health Promotion, which we will be talking about sometime later in the show. So yes, that background knowledge that I have is what has led me to share the knowledge with the community.
Right. So, by healthy eating, what do you mean exactly?
By healthy eating, what I mean is eating foods that are low in calories, rich in nutrients, non-processed foods, and in the correct portion sizes. For example, eating fruits and vegetables, and also eating healthy grains.
Now, does healthy eating in the United States of America, for instance, and even the Western world in general, mean the same within the African or developing world context?
Absolutely. Carbohydrate in Cameroon is carbohydrate in the United States of America. There are some tropical foods that are not in the United States. Likewise, there are some foods that are not in the tropical areas, but fruits are fruits, vegetables are vegetables, and like I said earlier, carbohydrates are carbohydrates. So yes, eating healthy is universal.
Now, if you were asked to prescribe 3 daily healthy meals for an average African, which ones would you go for?
Looking at specifically African meals, meals from Cameroon, for example,
Okay.
I will say plantains and vegetable prepared with tomatoes or a little peanut or egusi. Now, with the nuts, you have to be very careful because they tend to be very high in calories.
Okay.
I would also recommend roasted fish served with a sautéed vegetable, let's say sautéed cabbage with tomatoes. Pepper soup served with plantains, of course, with any kind of protein of your choice. Eru is a very healthy vegetable, served with, of course, my favorite oat bran fufu, which I already have an episode about on, and of course, again, be mindful of the red oil.
Right. Now, it's easy to ask people to eat healthy, but from ordinary observation, eating healthy is also very expensive. Is this assertion true?
No. The reason I say that is because if you look at somebody who is in the United States of America, for example, if you take $20 and go buy fast food, that amount of money could get you protein, vegetables, and your little spices that would make a meal that could serve you for 2 or 3 meals. So to answer your question, no. It depends on what you buy and how you cook it. So eating junk in the name of cutting costs because fruits and vegetables, like people will say, are expensive, it's not true.
Now, a couple of times I've taken a walk around shelves that have food for vegetarians in grocery stores, and I find these foods really expensive. That is why a while ago I mentioned that eating healthy could be expensive, and that is what a lot of people say as well. Don't you think that is the case?
Again, it all depends on what you're buying.
Okay.
It all depends on what you're buying. Let me give you an example. Spinach is a very, very healthy vegetable.
Okay.
It can be expensive sometimes, but it's fairly reasonable. Now, if you're going towards the higher end brands or products, of course, those will be expensive. But you can still eat healthy with very regular products that are not too expensive, that you can buy, with very little amount of money. Like spinach, for example. Fruits, apples are good. If you eat apples, you'll be eating healthy. Greens are also inexpensive. Quinoa, I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of quinoa, but that's a healthy grain that I've featured in my episodes quite a few times. That's a healthy grain. It may be considered a little expensive, but it is not expensive. Again, part of eating healthy is also eating the right portion sizes. Okay. So even if you buy a box of quinoa for $4.99, for example, that may serve you for 3 or 4 meals if you follow your correct portion size. So again, I would say eating healthy is not expensive.
Now, a lot of healthy foods are not palatable. They don't taste good. Perhaps reason why a lot of people don't go for this type of foods. So is there a way that a healthy food could be made more palatable to encourage people to eat it more?
All depends on your spices. I reiterate on fresh spices in my episodes. It's because they are at their fresh state. The aroma, they still contain the aroma, they still contain all the nutrients. If you spice up food, if you use these fresh spices and marinate your food well, maybe even overnight, like chicken, for example. I have an episode where I made chicken. If you puree the spices at their fresh state and you marinate whatever you're cooking, these spices get into your food. They get into your food, so they are not bland. Quinoa is another example. Quinoa has no taste. A lot of people who try it for the first time, they will tell you, oh, there's nothing to it. It doesn't have any taste. But it can acquire taste from other things that you cook it with. I made jollof quinoa for one of my episodes. I pretty much made it like jollof rice for the people who know what I'm talking about. I used all the spices that I would have normally used to cook jollof rice to cook the quinoa, and it was excellent. It was excellent. So again, it's how you prepare these meals. And that's where I come in. That's where I come in to give these lessons to tell people that eating healthy does not have to be boring.
There is also this controversy, this nuance about the naturalness of food, especially here in the Western world. It's true that chicken is good meat because it is white meat, just like fruits are good. But then the way these fruits are grown, there is this problem around it, a lot of chemicals and so on. How can we get out of this situation and be sure or be confident that what we are eating is really healthy? Research. I do a lot of research before I consume anything. We all have been watching videos of different vegetables that apparently are not in their natural state. Cabbage, for example. Some people say it's plastic. It burns if you have it over your burner. So the bottom line is for people to do research and study before you go to your grocery stores to buy your produce. And I also stick with the very basic things. I stick with things that I know are seasonal, that my local farmer grows, that I know every summer I can buy there, or if it's not in the summer, at least I know that, okay, spinach, for example, you can only go so wrong with spinach. I know that that's something that is at its natural state. I don't get too worried with stuff like that. Okay. So I will tell people, without sitting here and telling people exactly what to buy and what to eat, I will tell them to do their homework before they go to the grocery stores and before they bring anything into their homes. Do your research before you go to the grocery store to get your produce. Good advice there from Tande. She is a nutritionist, specialist in the foods, or specialist in foods. And of course, she is the guest on APEX1 Radio, listening to Snapshot's cuisine version, reaching you live from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. T, just catch your breath again, and we shall be back with you in just a couple of minutes.
Nasimene jandi sebatoe Nana kusemondie Nasimene beto jibae Nana kusemedube
One is titled Yo-Yo by Miss Senghor Francois, music of the yesteryears. Beautiful Makossa piece there. We're dedicating this one to Emily, Endeli, and the entire Endeli clan. We're also thinking of Mokali Tande, and listening to ApexSnapshot, reaching you from APEX1 Radio. Hosted by Ernest Kanjon, of course, produced by Maxel Atik. For those of you who just joined us, our guest T Tande hosts a cuisine slot on the CRTV Ain Canal Day, precisely on their breakfast shows. That is Hello and Abella, respectively. She's going to throw more light on that just right ahead in this edition of the show. This is Snapshot, live edition, reaching you from APEX1 Radio.
Oh,
Basomana balo we bamudie, bamatoma lengeto la boy, basi mabomu di mamie, babasuyane. Ayo yo ayo yo ayo yo. Basomana balo we bamudie, bamatoma lengeto la boy, basi mabomu di mamie, babasuyane. Ayo yo ayo yo ayo yo ayo yo. Diba binyo bandinya, topo bakokosa, loa binyo banedie, loba to banedie. Ayo yo ayo yo ayo. Diba binyo bandinya, topo bakokosa, loa binyo banedie, loba to banedie. Ayo yo ayo yo ayo yo.
Okay, we're discussing food on radio today. I just want to send a special shout out to all our friends who run restaurants, especially the ones in the United States of America. Just right ahead, we shall be talking about kati, which is, of course, a very prominent traditional delicacy from the northwest region of Cameroon. And of course, for those of you who have just joined us, this is Apex Snapshot cuisine version with Tande, who now joins us back from Chicago. Welcome back.
Thank you, Anna.
So tell me, are you a cookery expert by passion?
Yes, I am.
So where is this passion coming from?
I have always loved cooking from childhood. Like every African girl child who grows in a home. Now, some people pay attention and improve the skills.
Okay.
Others don't. I decided to pay attention, and it's a passion that has taken a life of its own, right. I must say.
So for how long have you been a chef?
I'll say all my life. And like I said earlier, the past 3 years have been marvelous. Marvelous. And I want to give a lot of the credit to my fans because they've pushed me, they've encouraged me, my family and friends have encouraged me to take it a notch, and which is precisely what I've done.
Right. Now, T, tell me, can anyone who cooks well be considered as a chef?
Yes and no. Yes and no. If you're able to cook well and instruct somebody on how to do what you just did, they may or may not be successful. But if they're able to follow the process, then I would say yes, you are a chef.
But who is a good cook?
A good cook, that would depend on who tastes the food.
Okay. Now, okay. Let's get this. Let me put this scenario. Now, we understand that the process of preparing kwakoko and bangasu, for instance, is really long, and that could be the same for achu and some other complicated traditional delicacies. Okay, now, the person who does that with ease and comes out with, good results, and the person who boils rice, and does some very easy stew, and it comes out successfully, who would you consider as a better cook?
So those are two different meals, completely different meals. So I would say a Bakwe woman, for example, may prepare the best Imbanambusa for you. And I would say a woman from the Northwest province will prepare the most delicious produce for you. Now, I may be able to produce a delicious achu as well. And a lady from the Northwest may be able to produce a delicious a plate of timbanambusa as well. But with stew, that's very different. The gap is a little wide. The more ethnic and tedious meals, you have to have a passion. You have to have a passion and to explore those dishes to be able to recreate them in a way that if somebody samples them and loves them, then they would say this person is very much capable of producing this dish and it's excellent.
Would you consider a Cameroonian woman who can prepare banku, who can prepare the traditional delicacy from some parts of Guinea in West Africa, some parts of Botswana in Southern Africa, as a better cook than a Cameroonian woman from the Northwest region, for instance, who can only, prepare achu and cannot prepare any other dish?
Yes. And the reason I say yes is because that person has an open mind. That person is willing to learn because most likely they did not grow up cooking banku, but they generated interest for it and they learned how to cook it and they are now capable of reproducing it at its best. So yes, that person would definitely be a better cook.
In my editorial, I mentioned creativity in cooking. Just how creative could cooks be?
Very, very creative. I'll use an example of mine. Asparagus, for example, grows in the Western world. I didn't grow up with asparagus. I only knew asparagus when I came to the United States. But because of my creativity, I sometimes sit down and play with the spices in my head and see what's, capable of working with what. And one of the episodes I did was asparagus and ginseng. Now, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? I made stir-fry asparagus, chicken, and ginseng. I can still tell you today that is a hit in my house. And I know that at least 5 of my friends have tried that particular dish and they love it. But that's something that maybe 5 years ago I wouldn't have even thought of. But now I have an open mind and I'm hungry to create all those different dishes that we did not grow up with. And it's working so far, and I love it, and people love it. And that's what's encouraging me to do even more.
Let us look at this other side of creativity. You and I understand that a lot of spices are chemical in nature. And we also understand that a mixture of chemicals without good knowledge of those chemicals could be dangerous. So in your wanting to be creative, what if you get to mix some of these spices that don't just match and you end up having something which may be dangerous?
I do a lot of research. That's the number one thing I do. And I stick to fresh produce, a lot of fresh produce. You really can't go wrong with a lot of those. Where the problem comes in my suggestion, is when you start playing with things that have already been processed. But things that are at their natural state, tend to be very mild. Again, going back to the very basics, I try with food, I try to stick with the basic ingredients and with the basic grains. For example, I love my oat bran fufu. Instead of buying oat bran fufu already made at the store, I make my own at home. I get my oat bran that you would normally make for breakfast, and I put it in my blender. I blend it, and I make my fufu out of that. So one way of avoiding, the concoctions leading to something else is if you stick with the basic ingredients and playing with your fresh spices instead of tampering with things that have already been bottled.
Right. Tell us how you got into professional cooking.
I've always loved cooking. Like I said, every African girl growing up in a typical African home, you should be around the kitchen. Now, so some people don't pay attention, or they say it's just not their thing. But with me, I loved cooking, and I took it to a different level. And it's a skill that I've loved growing up. As a matter of fact, when I was in BHS, I actually took the Food and Nutrition Prize from 5 during the graduation. Yes, I was the best food and nutrition student. So it's something that I love, and I have just become more creative, and cooking, like every other thing, evolves. I tell people this all the time. Don't stick to particular recipes. Add or subtract. If it works out, then it's good. If it doesn't work out, then okay, that's not the way it's meant to be. For example, I put green pepper in my ndole. I got a backlash when I posted it on my Facebook page, because a lot of people growing up don't think that you have to put green pepper in your ndole.
Okay.
But it doesn't take anything away. It doesn't take anything away. It adds aroma to your ndole. I mean, it gives the house a beautiful aroma. So think outside of the box. Do research and stuff. But I would say all my life, and it's getting better.
Right.
It's getting better.
So has Tande worked for cooking outfits such as restaurants and hotels?
No, never.
Okay.
Never. I've always been my own boss. Of course, I work for corporate America, and my weekends have been, for 3 years now, my weekends have been dedicated to Cooking with Therese. I spend most of my Saturday mornings shooting my episodes, and then the rest of the weekends I watch cooking shows, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I recreate recipes, but no, I've never worked for a restaurant or a hotel before. As a matter of fact, I hope down the road I'm hoping to have my own franchise, so people can work for me.
Now, have you ever prepared food and a non-African or non-Cameroonian consumer really enjoys it to a point where you hit your chest and say you've done it?
All the time. I work with a lot of Caucasians, and they do follow my shows. As a matter of fact, my director loves my shows, and he follows them and tries all the recipes. But I do take food to work samplers, and I have them sample them. And I also have a few Caucasian friends who visit me every now and then, and African American friends who visit me every now and then, and sample my food for food that they're probably tasting for the very first time, and they love it. Yes, I know that.
Do you cook everything?
I'm on point.
Do you cook everything?
Yes, I do. I do indulge in junk every now and then, a little treat. But generally, I cook all my food. Yes.
Right. Now, Cameroon has scores of traditional delicacies, and one would imagine that as a chef, you'll be able to prepare several of them. Is that the case?
Yes. And if I am not able to, I will look for somebody who knows how to cook it, and I'll learn from them. Another thing with me is I tell people this all the time. Nobody Nobody knows how to do it all. You may eat my roasted fish and like it, and you go to, for example, Suzanne's house, eat her roasted fish and like it as well. No two people cook the same, but two people may be very good at something. So if it's something that I think it's a little shaky, I would ask for help and learn how to do it better than how I have been doing it. So for the most part, I think I can do most of them. Yes.
How fast or slow are you in learning how to cook something?
Very fast. Very, very fast. My episodes, I never sit for days to prepare what I'm to think of or to prepare what I am going to prepare for that particular episode. I don't do that. How I do it is, because I'm so busy Monday through Friday, Friday evenings is when I do my groceries, and my spices pretty much stay the same. When I get all my stuff from the grocery store, I come home that Friday evening. After I've relaxed and gotten comfortable, then I think of what I'm going to shoot the next day. And it pretty much takes me a couple of hours to decide. Again, that decision would stem from what I made from the previous episode. If I made chicken, then I know the next episode maybe I should do shrimp. Okay. I try to stick with the healthier proteins as well. If it's a recipe that I already know, or if it's something that I'm venturing, which most of the times, all my episodes that are not the delicacies are usually things that I've never cooked before. I'll go to YouTube and just do a few samplers and see what they did and do my own little critique here and there, and then I sit down and come up with my own recipe. Again, adding that nutritional aspect into it, I try to incorporate things that I know that when people eat, they are going to be getting all the nutrients they need. And that's pretty much how the process goes.
One of the biggest challenges people who cook face is measurement. How can they come out of this?
There are measuring containers. There are food scales that people can buy. I know a lot of people are not aware of this. When I do like my smoothie videos, I do mention that you can get a measuring glass. They are actual measuring glass. I know growing up, you would use a teacup to measure stuff. No, that is not the appropriate measurement tool you have to use. You get a measuring cup. Okay. They come in several colors, plastic, glass, whatever you have it. Buy those and do your measurements there. And you can also purchase a food scale. They are very portable, small, and you can use those to measure your food. On your nutritional facts, they would tell you, for example, rice, how much rice you should cook, or what the right portion size will be before or after cooking. So all of that stuff will be there. And to follow the correct measurements, you should use your measuring cup. Now, after using that for a while, you should be accustomed to what your correct portion size should be. If you don't want to keep measuring, but I mean, after doing it for years, you should know that maybe a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of rice, or 3 tablespoons of rice is what your correct portion size should be.
Is there a remedy for food that is oversalted, for instance, or if you have put much pepper in food? Is there a way it can be remedied?
If you're cooking, let's say you're cooking dole, for example, and you've already had your peanut in there, your peanut is already cooked. That's one area that may be tough, but you can focus then on the vegetable. Maybe add a little bit more vegetable to it. Maybe it will calm down the pepper a little bit. I would say stay away from the oil. The oil, growing up, I knew that if you put a lot of pepper in your food, you can add oil. It would help, mellow it a little bit. But you don't want too much oil in your food. Those are the ingredients that you have to, watch for and use those in the correct amount. So in that case, for example, like I said, if you're cooking dole, you can add more vegetables. Stew, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because your tomatoes may be already cooked. You don't want to add fresh tomatoes to make them tart. However, you can cook a little bit of tomatoes on the side and then add to the main pot. So I guess everything is doable. I guess you can remedy the situation. Yes, but stay away from the oil. Stay away from the oil. Of course, you can add water because you're going to make your soup watery or you're going to make your rice mushy. But in the case of like tomatoes, which I know we mostly use to cook, and vegetables, just add more of whatever vegetable it is that you're using to the pot. At least you know that it's vegetable, it's healthy, and it's low in calories.
Now, in as much as it is recommended that people stay away or they reduce their oil intake, it is also believed, especially by boarding school students, that beans or corn chaff looks and tastes more palatable when there's much oil.
No. Same thing applies to eru.
Okay,
it's not about the oil. It's not about the oil.
Okay.
Once you have all of these meals well prepared and tasting good already, you don't need much oil. You don't need much oil. I say oil is just for coloring. Like I would say, like when I did my eru episode, once you've added your spinach or your water leaf, if you have access to water leaf, you've added your protein, whatever protein you're putting in your eru. Once you have all of that, you've had a little bit of bouillon cube in there to taste, salt to taste. You have your crayfish in there. You have your pepper in there. Once you have that vegetable going, all should just be for coloring. Same should apply for beans and corn chaff. As a matter of fact, I don't even use red oil in my corn chaff. I use peanut oil. I use peanut oil because peanut oil is considered one of the most healthiest because it's at its most natural state because it comes from peanuts. So I use peanut oil to cook all my food, and I use peanut oil to cook corn chaff as well. Now, if I had guests or if I had a function to give it that delicacy look, I would add a little bit of palm oil just to give it that look, and I'll be good to go.
Food expert, nutritionist, and chef par excellence. Her name is Tande. We are getting some very good education from her on Apex One Radio. This day, you're listening to Snapshot using version reaching you from Columbus, Ohio. Catch your breath again while we do some music from this, and then we'll be right back with you. To Gili Dumbe, that beautiful piece of music titled Virul, a 1991 piece dedicated to the big brother and journalist Tipusi Tande. We're also sending special Apex Snapshot greetings to Abigail Nafti Abongwa and Petra Ain at Zamora. This is Snapshot reaching you from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America, produced by Maxel Ajik from Valsuch, Switzerland, and hosted in the studio by Ernest Kanjo. 2 minutes to 10 here in the studio, 2 minutes to 9 in Chicago. We shall talk about the show or the cuisine slot which our main guest runs on CRTV and Canal D. Call it Cooking with Therese. And Ken Shalimoned is also monitoring the show. When he comes on the airwaves, he shall be analyzing what our guest has said and would have said just in this special live edition of Apex Snapshot, reaching you from Columbus, Ohio. Good evening to you, Sata Ain. We also want to say good evening to Robert Willoughby and Robert Washington, listeners of APEX1 Radio in the city of Columbus. Meantime, don't forget to join us tomorrow for a live edition of African Fiesta. That will be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hello, Ethioma. I hope you're doing great today.
I guess not, Akosia.
That's true. You don't look so pleasant. What's the problem?
Well, I'm terribly hungry.
Hungry? There's food everywhere.
Food everywhere? You mean, see, I'm fed up with this quick truck for Corner Road every day.
Now you're talking.
Now I'm talking.
Yes! I have the solution!
Oh, Jesus, what?
Follow me home. My mom is making benku and okra soup.
Benku? Say that again.
Benku and okra soup, silly.
Benku and okra soup. Okay, which one is this?
It's a delicacy of the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, a West African country. Come with me. I bet you'll love it.
Wow.
My mom will gladly show you the recipe, and then whenever you want it, you can just make it.
That would be exciting. I'm excited and salivating already.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Just like banku and okra soup, Akosa gives you the recipe of the most desired African dishes on Delicacy. Delicacy is every week on APEX1 Radio. Join us on the APEX1 Radio dining table, then we shall dine together.
And we're currently dining with our main guest, Tande. Welcome back.
Thank you, Ernest.
So tell me, what could be the easiest Cameroonian traditional delicacy to prepare, and how often do you prepare it?
I would say roasted fish is probably the easiest.
Okay.
However, it's what I like. So everybody who's been around my space or even around my Facebook wall knows that I love water fufu and arrow. That's my favorite dish. A lot of the dishes could be time consuming, but I love water fufu and arrow, and I cook that, I would say, at least twice a month.
Wow. That's interesting. And how long would it take you to prepare a water fufu and arrow meal?
Not long. Average of an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, not long.
Wow, that's interesting. And there should definitely be a dish you dread, which you don't just want to cook.
As a matter of fact, I do not dread any.
Okay.
You just have to have that mindset. If I'm craving something, I would do whatever it takes to cook it. A kwang, for example, is tedious. I have never put my cocoyams in a food processor because I love to do it the right way, the traditional way. I have my grater from Cameroon, so I pick up my cocoyams and I do it how it's supposed to be done. Of course, it's one of those meals that you won't find me in my kitchen cooking every weekend or cooking twice a month, obviously. However, if I crave it, although I dread making it because of the lengthy process and the lengthy and tedious process,
right.
If I crave it, I'll cook it. So I really don't dread anything. It all depends. I set my mind to it and I do it when I want it.
Now, there is this mad rush for and big talk about Nigerian jollof, Ghanaian jollof, and banku within the African community. So what is it about these dishes that is so special?
I think it's very special because they are universal.
Okay.
They're universal, and I guess everybody just wants to claim it, right? Everybody wants to claim it. The Cameroonians say they make the best jollof rice. The Nigerians say they make the best. The Ghanaians say they make the best. Who does?
But
it's about time we do something about that. But I know that the jollof rice that is on the Cooking with Terrace page is the best.
But how come Achu, Watafufu and Eru, Timanambosa is not really popular within the African community in the United States?
Maybe because some people don't have access to some of those things. Eru, for example, they don't have people that will always bring them Eru from back home, and maybe they don't know where to buy it. Especially if they live in remote towns that don't have Oriental stores.
Okay.
I live about 45 minutes to an hour from Chicago. My closest Oriental store doesn't carry Eru. Eru is something that either is being sent to me from Cameroon or I purchase it from, a fellow Cameroonian lady whom I've purchased it from for years. Otherwise, I may not be able to lay hands on Eru. So that could be one of the reasons why it's not popular. But again, when you go to the functions, you usually find those meals there. But yeah, that is if you go. If you don't go and you don't know where to buy these things, then obviously you will not eat them. You eat what is available to you.
Right. Now, it's true that we eat Cameroonian meals in the United States, for instance. But then there is also this observation that we really don't feel as if we are eating those meals? Perhaps because it's different from what you have back home.
Well, yes and no. Bitter leaf, for example, by the time those vegetables come here, they've traveled. Some people get them in dried, some people get them fresh. Now they sell them fresh, but it's not at its most natural state. Eru too, for example, to preserve it, you have to dry it. So cooking those things, you have to know how to walk around how they are being preserved.
Okay.
How I do my eru is, if I know I want to cook eru tomorrow, I would soak it in cold water tonight and leave it there overnight. It somewhat brings back a little bit of that natural state. Eru back home, it's not slimy, but it's just a little bit, a little bit. You feel that after you have it in cold water overnight. You almost feel like you're getting it back to that natural state. So when you cook it with spinach, which is usually the next closest to water leaf, it's a little similar to what you would eat back home, but would definitely not be exactly how it would taste back home. And people also have to remember that the pepper that you buy from the store here doesn't taste the same like the pepper that is grown in Boya or in Bamenda. So if you use the pepper that is grown in Jamaica to cook your food here, for example, of course, the aroma of that pepper is what is going to enhance or not enhance that eru. So the taste might be a little different because of what you're putting in the food. And even meat. The meat here is very different from the meat back home. It actually tastes different. So all those things add to how food tastes. That's why some of these dishes may not taste exactly how they taste back home.
Can you have some of those vegetables cultivated here if you have the seedlings, for instance?
Yes, I grow water leaf during the summer months. And I also grow green during the summer months.
Okay.
The only thing that I have realized is green, for example, is, I don't know, but maybe it's because I don't eat it on a regular basis. I thought that the taste was slightly different, but I may be wrong. But you can grow those things. Of course, if you have the yard to grow it. But I grow, during the summer months, I grow water leaf and green. But I am so used to using spinach in my eru because it's convenient and it's easier. So growing water leaf to cook eru for the rest of the year, to me, feels like a chore. So I'd rather just run to the closest grocery store and pick up my fresh spinach and make my eru with it.
Beautiful. Her name is Tande. You just have a couple of seconds, time for us to do a transition. Then when we come back, we shall dive into cooking with Teres.
Mundi wasu ese bondene
Dollar Serenade by Charlotte Mbango. Beautiful piece of music there. That's put the time to 40 minutes past 10 in the studio of APEX1 Radio. This is a special dedication to you, Rosette, Wonganyanje, and Kenny Bams. This is ApexSnapshot. Just right ahead, we shall be discussing Cooking with Teres. Cooking with Teres is a slot on Hello and Abella, respectively, breakfast shows on CRTV and Canal D. APEX Snapshot reaching you from APEX1 Radio. Time for us to move into the next segment of the show. And this time around, we shall be talking about Cooking with Teres. Cooking with Teres is a TV slot, like I mentioned earlier on. The artist will be joining us just right ahead.
Babu bimesema mendesa wabe mba nabinika.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Teres. Today we're going to be making sauteed huckleberry served with steamed green plantains. Huckleberry is cultivated in East, West, and Central Africa, and of course very rich in fiber and other nutrients. Plantains are cultivated in tropical areas. They are very rich in potassium, fiber, and very low in sugar. Let's come back and talk about the other things that will be going into our dish today. So, what's going into our dish today? Of course, we have our huckleberries steamed for 10 minutes and drained. We will also need tomatoes, habanero hot pepper,
Excerpts there of Cooking with Teres, reaching you from APEX1 Radio. And like I mentioned earlier on, Cooking with Teres is a TV slot that has been on Cameroonian television, precisely on the CRTV and Canal D. T, welcome back.
Thank you, Ernest.
So, tell me, when did you decide to take your cooking career to television?
As a matter of fact, I did not make that decision. I started the cooking show. I had my YouTube channel, and I started off with CRTV. A journalist from CRTV saw my work, and he was visiting the United States. He saw my work, and he decided to take it back to Cameroon. He took it back to Cameroon and showed the Hello Cameroon producer, who still happens to be the same person, and they loved it. And the rest was history. Okay. And we've been on there for over a year now, on CRTV, Hello Cameroon morning show.
So, tell us about the concept. What is it all about?
CWT Cooking with Teres is it's a 5-minute cooking show that focuses on a single meal per episode. It shows the cooking process in its entirety, highlighting the ingredients and their nutritional value. Its goal is to teach people how to make healthy meals in a short time.
And how often does it come on the airwaves?
On CRTV or on my YouTube channel?
On CRTV.
On CRTV, it depends on them. Okay. I shoot the episodes and I send them. I kind of send them in. How do I phrase it? I call them seasons. Because I like to take a break. So I do like 5 episodes at a time, and then I'll send those 5 episodes. Now it's up to them to either show those 5 episodes every Tuesday for the next 5 weeks, or they could choose to do 2 a month or do 1 a month. That depends on them.
Right.
On Canal 2, Abella, it's a little different. They want more of CWT. If I could give them episodes every day, they would take it. I still do the same thing with them, but there's that constant rush for CWT. They always want CWT, so I work a little bit harder for them. I give them more episodes because they're always looking for episodes. So whenever I'm chanced, which is usually every weekend, I try to shoot an episode, and then if it's edited on time and available, I send it right away.
And how did the arrangement to have it aired on Canal Day come about?
Same process. After CRTV, I guess Canal Day saw it on CRTV and they loved it. The journalist who used to do the Abella show saw my work, and he also loved it. He sampled it. He went on YouTube. Then I think I had about 11 episodes. He went through all 11 episodes and sent me a text message saying I will start with episode 1 tomorrow. And I was like, whoa. And again, I've been with Abella for over a year as well.
Okay. Do you air the same episode on both channels, or you produce a different episode for each of them?
It's the same. Okay. They don't always show the same episodes on the same day.
Okay.
One network may show episode 10 today, while the other network shows episode 14, for example.
Okay.
I don't think there's been a coincidence where they both show the same episode on the same day, but they get the same episode.
Right. So how do these networks appreciate your content?
I think they love it.
Okay.
They do. I mean, I've been with both of them for over a year and a half now.
And what about your audience? What has been the feedback? What are people telling you?
You know, it gets, it sometimes gets emotional when I talk about the audience, because I'm truly humbled. I'm truly humbled by my fans and how this cooking show has taken a life of its own. You're my friend on Facebook. I'm not sure if you've been observant, but just 2 days ago, I had my editor's mom, Auntie Melissa Nambangi. She happened to be in Cameroon, and she watched one of the episodes in Cameroon, and that was the first tag I woke up to. She had tagged me, saying she just watched one of my episodes on CRTV. I couldn't ask for more.
Right.
And I get this on a regular basis. People send me inbox messages. They send me pictures on WhatsApp. They write stuff on my wall. They write messages on the page. Like I said, it gets emotional when I think about it. And, I can't thank the fans enough. I just cannot.
Now, CWT should be at its 27th episode, if I'm not mistaken. What has been the experience running this slot? Is this something you think that it was worth the trouble?
There are hurdles. I'm not going to tell you that everything is dandy. Those diva-like tendencies come out sometimes. I do my own makeup. I do my own prep. I don't have a sous chef. I do everything together by myself up to the preparation stage. But I can tell you that at its 27th episode as of today, it's well worth it.
Right.
It's well worth it. every second, every minute, every scream is well worth it. The episodes, of course, they only air for 5 minutes by the time everything is edited. But shooting a show could be up to half a day, you know. But it's every second is worth it. I love what I do, and I hope to even make it better.
Talking about making it better, do you plan to bring in innovations? And if you do, what kind of changes do you hope to bring on the slot? And how soon will you start implementing these changes?
I take each day at a time. I haven't sat down and thought about that one big innovation I'm going to do, because each episode is an innovation on its own. No two episodes are the same.
Right.
Episode 10, for example, and episode 12 could be chicken dishes, but very, very different approach towards that protein. So to me, they are different, and it evolves. So that's an innovation for me. So every episode, it is an innovation. So I don't sit and think of that one big thing that I'm going to do in a couple of months, because I know next week has one already.
You just said you do your own makeup. Does it mean that you don't have a team that works on the production of this slot? And if so, do you plan to build one?
Obviously, as I get bigger, I definitely would love to bring others into the team. But for right now, I do have a team. My makeup, my outfits, I work with two marvelous guys. I couldn't ask for better. Amazingly, they are also involved in even my glasses. I wear glasses, but I have several frames. And believe you or not, they will tell me, we don't know if that frame goes with that outfit. They sure do. Or, I don't know about that outfit that you're about to put on for the show. I think you may want to change it. They're that involved, because at the end of the day, they want the best. But eventually, if it gets bigger, the way it's going, I don't mind bringing more people in. But for right now, to cut costs, because I want to focus on putting everything into the dishes, the editing, merchandise, simple things like makeup, I will do on my own.
Are you also considering partnerships?
I haven't worked with any chef as of today. However, yes, I have worked with some fitness experts in the diaspora. Actually, one of my projects that I did back in December should be coming out real soon, maybe in a couple of weeks. But I haven't worked with a chef, but eventually that's my goal. I'm looking forward to working with people, especially with my non-profit organization that I'm sure we'll get to before we're done here. I'm looking into working with some of the chefs in the diaspora and in Cameroon as well.
And that non-profit organization is Wholesome Health Promotion. When we come back, that is what we shall be talking about. Her name is Tande. She is the main guest in this edition of Apex Snapshots, reaching you from APEX1RADIO. Just catch your breath again, T. Then, when we come back, we shall take another stage of this journey. And now the legend joins us on board to accompany T and NS on this great radio journey. Apex Snapshot. This is a special dedication to you, Asheri Mase. I'm also thinking of you, Diana Mocho. This is Apex One Radio. Listening there to Bendeka, Tumba Longo. And this is also for the listening pleasure of Ayuk Ita and Susan Elangwe.
Una devient au Condé, ayo Charlemagne. Mamene Beno Condé, ayo Napoléon.
Of music there by Ben Decker. It has brought the time to 28 minutes to 11 here in the studio of Apex One Radio, 28 minutes to 10 in Illinois. From where our guest now joins us again. T, welcome back.
Thank you, Ernest.
So, tell me, some time ago you announced the creation of a non-governmental organization which will run under the banner of CWT. You just talked about it a while ago. Wholesome Health Promotion, that is WHP. Is it operational yet?
It actually is. WHP, Wholesome Health Promotion, is a non-for-profit organization incorporated here in Illinois and tax-exempt as well. It is separate, though, from CWT, although it was inspired by CWT. I do have my board of directors already selected, and of course we had our first meeting already. I do also have my advisors. So my board of directors and the advisors make up the team. We are pretty much ready to go. We are wrapping up the website, which I'm very, very excited about, and we should be publishing next week.
So what exactly will this organization be doing on the ground?
Wholesome Health Promotion is an organization that will promote general wellness and provide nutrition and health education in rural and underprivileged communities in Cameroon. Well, we will provide the individual with resources, knowledge necessary to live an active, healthy, and fulfilling life for the benefit of self and the community.
Do you have something like a pilot stage of the project, and where exactly you are going to kick off?
As a matter of fact, all our projects will be done in Cameroon. None will be done in the United States.
Okay.
We do have an idea of what our first project will be. Once we've published the website, we will go ahead and let the public know what our first project will be, where it will take place, and also provide the budget for that project. And that's how we're going to raise money to fulfill that project.
What kind of impact do you envisage in the next 5, 10, 15 years?
My goal is to reduce diseases in Cameroon. Hopefully I can do that, especially in the underprivileged and rural areas, because a lot of these people don't have access to resources. So where we come in, or where I come in with this organization, and hopefully my team assisting me, will be prevention. We will try to implement prevention strategies. That way people don't even have to deal with some of these ailments. My goal is to have people use produce when it comes to the nutritional aspect of it, use the produce that they already have in large quantities, make meals that are healthy for them, and eventually incorporate some kind of fitness in their day-to-day activities.
Okay. And what do you intend to do as far as working with the beneficiaries? How do you expect them to contribute to this project?
I would just need their time, actually.
Okay.
It's all I would ask of them. Of course, these projects will be announced way ahead of time, and this will be on a voluntary basis. If we're going to set up a clinic, for example, a diabetic clinic, for example, we'll do an announcement a couple of months before where that would take place and when. We'll give all of this information out to the public, and then they can come and receive those services. That's why we'll be working at this end, trying to raise money, because, of course, we know that they may not be able to financially support themselves as to finding out some of these diseases that they may have that they don't know about. So all we will need is their time, really, and their participation. For those people who, for example, may not know that they are diabetic, if we run a diabetic clinic and somebody finds out that they are diabetic, we'll give them the resources that they need to either manage the disease. For those who don't have it, we'll continue to give them the resources to prevent them from, acquiring the disease.
That is the illustrious daughter of Boya, contributing her own quota to the health development of her people. Her name is Tande. She is our main guest in this edition of Apex Snapshots. We are gradually but steadily moving to the end of the show, but then we are still on the airwaves. Tande, just catch your breath again. Then we're going to do music for just a very short while. Then we'll be back with you. listening to Nen Bobby. Beautiful piece of music there. Dedicated to you, Ma Mekole. I to you, Duplex Saj. Also thinking of you, Dr. Terence Agbo. I Lum Irene Asanji Korha.
Zeta jengele mbao konange yake na pongo bambe ya ye Nema bute wani bana atawe ya ponmo Zete kwa la tonje o konange yake na tomba la mitomba Na mala mateme wani tena atawe ya momba le nyenge Na atawe ya mo Na atawe ya mo Na atawe ya mo ye tonjimba Na atawe ya mo tebende na ye Na atawe ya mo tomba mi wo Na atawe ya mo Na atawe ya mo ye tonjimba Na atawe ya mo Hey,
we're taking you back memory lane. Beautiful piece of music there released in 1984 by Dula Nambobe. We are also dedicating this special piece of music to you, Edwin Daniel Doko in Dallas, Texas. Then to you, Ewo Kolonje and Mama Senge. We also want to say thanks for joining APEX1 Radio. This day, the 23rd of February 2017. We're back in Chicago in just a couple of seconds.
Epo mande sontane abe ulunya kwa mbodi na dano ne kuna banga no da Bana be bumbele be malado kitandebe wana madokita pon mbanu kwende jumele batonde mbande na bambe kwedie do madate nyaka nyubunya batango lo ikule poni benda mbanu kwende longe
Snapshot using version reaching you live from Columbus, Ohio. Tande now joins us again. Welcome back.
Thank you, Ernest.
Let us look at the food industry in Africa, and I would like you to assess this industry. How do you look at it?
It's still at its subsistence level. I would say it's difficult to preserve a lot of the food, and some of them that are being preserved are being done so by very few industries. We have a lot of food to offer, but like I said, it's at its subsistence level, so there isn't really much we can do at this point, and that's it's not a huge problem, but I'm hoping that in 5 to 10 years that could get better.
T, you say we have a lot of food, yet some people are hungry. Some people go without food.
The farmer, for example, they produce this food and they go to the market hoping to sell and bring back money home. When you say we have all the food, but some people are hungry, I don't look at hunger literally. It's a complete package. It's a complete package. If I grow bitter leaf, for example, to cook that bitter leaf, I may need crayfish, I may need beef to put in it, I may need fish to put in it, I may need pepper to put in it. And to go along as a starch, I may need plantains. So if I grow my bitter leaf, for example, and I go to the market to sell this bitter leaf, and I'm not able to make as much money, then I'm short getting plantains or getting beef to put in this bitter leaf, or getting the rest of the condiments or ingredients to put in my soup. Then I'm left with only my bitter leaf. So I become, a hungry farmer, and which takes me back to the previous question you just asked, some of the problems that we face when it comes to food in Africa, preservation. And of course, these are very fresh vegetables. You don't expect them to stay fresh 3 days from when they were harvested. So the farmer also incurs loss if they are not able to get rid of them and make the money that they need to make on the same day or the day after. So that obviously will leave a farmer hungry.
Right. Now, in recent years, we've seen chefs becoming very prominent personalities. They have been celebrated. We've even seen award shows recognizing them. Tell me, have you come across some of these people whom you really have a lot of admiration for?
I haven't. Although I have some of my favorites, I haven't, because I have been focusing so much on giving my best to cooking with Therese for the past 3 years. I would say this year is a different year, and a year in which I plan in doing so many other things besides just shooting those episodes. Of course, my wholesome health promotion non-for-profit is one of them. That's out of the way. I'm looking to work with other chefs this year. I'm also looking to meet some of those role models. Of course, Westerners. One of my favorites is Rachel Ray, and I hope someday I'll become the Rachel Ray of Cameroon. So this year I'm hoping to meet one or two of them. By God's grace.
When we were growing up, we knew that cooking was a thing for women. Yet today, we find a lot of men in this discipline. How come?
A lot of men cooking? Is that your question?
Yes. Why are men getting interested in cooking these days?
I don't think it's only for women, actually. Cooking is an art, for starters. Cooking is an art. For years, there's this myth that cooking, for some people, there's that myth that cooking is maybe for the woman, and of course the woman who stays at home or whatever. But cooking is an art, open for men and women. There's a lot more to cooking than just putting a pot on the fire, adding water, and your ingredients. Part of what we're talking today is about healthy eating. A lot of men come in because they're personal trainers and they want to be there in all aspects for their clients. So not only do they want to provide that fitness aspect of it, they also want to be able to tell their clients how to eat.
Okay.
So they have to have that knowledge. And having that knowledge, if you are somebody with an open mind, what stops you from doing the practical? So I don't think it should be reserved only for women. It should be for men as well.
Right. Now, let me ask this question, which may sound a little silly, but I think it's important. There is this opinion, this view, this school of thought that people who eat in restaurants are irresponsible. Do you share that view?
It depends on what kind of restaurant you're going to eat from. There are people who do not have time, who work long hours, who have no other choice but to buy food from a restaurant. you have that group of people. You also have the other group of people who are just lazy, who don't want to cook and end up at a restaurant. The second part of it is what you're buying from the restaurant. There are restaurants that offer healthy meals, salads that you can eat. But if you find yourself at, I don't even know if I should call McDonald's a restaurant, for example, if you're in the West. But if you find yourself at McDonald's every day buying a hamburger or chicken tenders, I don't know how to describe you. I don't know if that's laziness or if you don't have time, but I know that the people who truly don't have the time and don't have the help or cannot cook their own meals end up in, good restaurants that they probably could buy a salad and still eat healthy. So not all of them are lazy, to answer your question. There are those that are, but, a handful are not.
Right. Tande is her name. I must commend you for your efforts in contributing to the growth of this industry. And I must say that it's really rare to find young Africans like you doing what you are doing. And so before this show, I took time to do some research, and I came across things which people said about you and some of the things you said. And a lot of those things caught my attention. I will be presenting them to you in a short while, and I would like you to comment. But before we do that, let's have a musical break. Un solo golpe en la mano. And the big boy, Richard Bonner, now joins us on board with ApexSnapshot. Special dedication to you. Miss Pang, I'm also thinking of you. Nigel, a.k.a. Giawahala. Okay, then to you, Omar Bayen, Eneke Eta, Dorothy Diamond, and Maxel Fambo. I want to say thanks so much for choosing Apex One Radio. You're listening there to Richard Bonner. And of course, that one is titled Joho Joho. Okay, yeah. It's Jolo Jolo. Whatever that means. Okay. But then this should be one of T's favorite songs. Maybe when she comes over the English, she's going to explain what this song could mean. This is ApexSnapshot.
Wana wande wingu mama sopi ini abe watateko ino beta osipa munde wone ito na topo en komende no bambe koro koro kuma akanya sante katayela twala dibana ngomu tandari akanya sante katayela bibiela moto molende ko akanya sante katayela o bebe na badu so singe pena toy una bongo ndenge obibabo manyaka malambo mogulu kelambi labwa usata one bed in hebiebolo.
Hey, the kind of music that sweeps you off. Beautiful piece of music there titled Jolo Jolo by the legendary Richard Bonner. It has got the time to 7 minutes to 11 here in the studio of APEX1RADIO. And in just 7 minutes, we shall be bidding bye-bye to our listeners and to our guests. Meantime, Ken Charlie Monet will be on the airwaves to do the last word on the show.
Sheka and Joko Joko. Kosa and Joko Joko. Shake and the joko joko. Cosa and the joko joko. Bonita Latin
Okay, we're definitely going to come back to that beautiful piece of music by Rishabh Bona if time permits us. But then, time for us to go back to our main guest for this last phase of our radio talk. We started at exactly 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Chicago time. Welcome back, T.
Thank you, Anna.
Right, so you said somewhere a few days ago that my kitchen keeps me grounded and humble. What did you mean by that?
I remember that post actually. It was on a Friday evening. I was making dinner.
Okay.
Friday evenings is when I indulge. I was having a green plantain dodo with fried fish.
Right.
While I was making that, I realized that was the one spot in my house that I felt so free. I would let my hair down and just go with the flow.
Right.
And what I meant was that my kitchen keeps me focused on things that really matter rather than distractions that may be popular but don't have an impact in people's lives. It definitely keeps me grounded.
That's beautiful. When she is educated, can cook, pays her teeth or tithes, has natural hair. Now, the person saying this mentioned cooking, and I would like you to to explain to us if an educated woman who cannot cook is a problem to her spouse, family, and society at large.
I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a good to have skill, but it's not a must.
Okay.
So no, it's not. There are many other things that
a
woman can do to nurture a relationship.
But in typical traditional African societies, they would think that she is, not worthy of that marriage, because they believe that women should be able to cook.
If the woman tries, now there's a difference if you don't make an attempt.
Okay.
But if somebody tries, but they are just not capable of producing something excellent, if I were a man, I'll give them a chance. But again, that's where Cooking with Therese comes in, right? We're teaching people how to cook, so these should be excuses of the past.
Okay, that's beautiful. So, my ultimate goal is to have a syndicated cooking show and be a renowned lifestyle coach. How far have you gone in the pursuit of this dream?
One day at a time. If anybody told me in 2014, when I shot that very first episode and dropped it on Dropbox and sent it to my editor down in Dallas, I would have told them, you're lying. But look at where we are today. I still have my team working with me. They say if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Of course, there are hard times, there are struggles along the way, but we are a good team. And I'm not obsessed. I made that statement. I definitely would want to see all of that happen someday, but I'm not obsessed at it at this point. That will happen with time eventually.
This is the lady who got up at 5 a.m. last Saturday, depriving herself from the comfort of her bed, prepared food for me and my team, gave us water and drinks, bought 20 pieces of kati chicken, and prayed for us. Her name is Tande. She is the founder and CEO of the Cooking with Therese show. My teammates were really surprised, but I was not. I've never expected anything less from her. Do you recognize this, and what can you say about such compliments and its author?
Yes, I do. I do. That was a pleasant surprise. I do. That was from a tag from Don Prince. Don Prince is the CEO of Kati Kati International. He's based up in Minnesota. He's one of the most hard-working Cameroonian guys in the diaspora that I know. On this particular day that he was talking about, he makes his chicken, and he drives across the United States and sells them. So on his way to DC, he stopped by to drop off my chicken that I bought. And like I have written several times on my Facebook wall that my kitchen almost feels like it belongs to the public, which it really does. I feel like everybody knows every angle in my kitchen, and I have announced several times that if you are anywhere around the Chicago area, you just need to give me a 24-hour notice, and I'll do a spread for you, and you should stop by and eat. So that post was definitely a pleasant surprise, and at this moment, I would like to give Don Prince a shout-out and tell him thank you very much for being a role model. Thank you for what you do. They say in life, it's not what you do, it's how you do what you do. And with regards to his post on my wall, I really, really do appreciate it. But it's always better to lend a helping hand, and I felt like that's what I did that morning. They needed a few hours to rest. They were at my place for about a couple of hours. They had delicious waterfufu and eru, and then went on their way.
Beautiful.
Which is what we should do.
It's not what you do that matters, it's how you do what you do. Now, T, I'm going to play this last song, which I'm going to dedicate to all the chefs and people who work relentlessly to develop the African and world food industry. Then, when we come back, we are running off. If you are of the 1991 batch of the Baptist High School, Boya, this is also for you. I'm also thinking of La Belle Nambangi, Liz Beseka Name, and Melissa Nambangi. Then to you, Don Prince, CEO of Kati Kati. Enjoy this piece of music as we run off this edition of Apex Snapshot on Apex One Radio. piece of music there by Beko Sadi, music about food there. All right, let's go back to Chicago. T, welcome back.
Thank you, Anna.
Beautiful. So it's been quite impressive. The education has really been enticing. We want to thank you so much. And away from that, when you are not in your kitchen, which I understand is your comfort zone, what else are you doing? What are your hobbies?
I love to run. I run every single day except for Saturdays and Sunday. I love to travel all across the United States.
Right.
I love dancing, although I don't get to go out as much these days because all my weekends are dedicated to CWT.
So you are the reason why we played Makossa from start to finish on this show. Tell us about your relationship with Makossa.
I love Makossa. I love the old school Makossa, especially because we don't do it like they used to back in the day. And because I love Makossa, and my whole concept of the CWC show is not only about the cooking, it's about being relaxed in your kitchen, cooking. I had to incorporate the Makossa aspect into it, and I am so lucky that my editor and I have the same taste of music, so we never fight about
Right.
that. But I love music, and I love Makossa also.
Right. Now, see, they say people who cook hardly feel hungry. Is that true or false? And have you ever cooked food and not have the appetite to eat?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Being a healthy chef, if I cook something that is not healthy, I don't eat it.
Okay.
Sometimes I may overly cook and consume all those fumes, and by the time I'm done, I just want to sleep. So I end up not eating. But again, I try to keep my physique. So I am very, very particular on my food intake as well. So, but I actually feel hungry sometimes. I actually do, because I eat in very little portions. So yes, I do feel hungry, although I'm a chef.
Right. Now, so T, there are definitely people who've listened to us this evening and have been inspired. Some may like to get in touch with you for more education. Oh, they may like to work with you. How can they reach T Tande?
I'm on Facebook as Tande, Tande. I'm also on Instagram as Cooking with Therese. I'm on Twitter as Tande. My email that I officially use is Therese, TERESE _Tande, TANDE @msn.com. I don't use my phone number for business purposes, so I try to keep that private for now. But eventually, I'm going to, make that open. But for right now, they can reach me via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course via the email I just provided. And we also have the web address for Wholesome Health Promotion, which once I publish, people will be able to find that web address there. They can also reach me via that medium.
And since there is this mad rush for celebrity status these days, a lot of people would surely want to become chefs and be celebrated as well. What advice would you give an aspiring chef?
Shoot for the sky. Don't let anybody tell you no, or don't let anybody tell you you're not capable of doing it. If you're passionate about it, go for it. Talk to people who are already doing it. I'm here for anyone and everyone who wants to tap my brain. I'm very open for that. I'm open for anyone who is serious for any knowledge. I'll give my time to them. But the bottom line is, don't let anybody tell you you're not capable of doing it. If you've thought about it, then you can pursue it. Go for it.
Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. If you've thought about it, just go for it. Still want to thank you so much. I think it's been a very long radio journey, a very long one. So is there anything which we didn't say, which you think we would have said, or something we said which we shouldn't have said on the show?
I think covered a lot of things, and I hope to come back at some point to talk more about the non-for-profit organization as we develop our projects. Hopefully you guys will have me back. But I think we did cover our bases tonight. Thank you guys so much. I'm truly humbled, truly humbled. I would like to thank my fans who've helped put me where I am today, for you people to be able to recognize me. I would love to thank my team, the CWT team, for all the good work that they do. Without them, I won't be able to shine as bright as I do today.
Tande is her name. She has been with us for the past 2 hours, 9 minutes, and we've had enormous knowledge about cooking and the food industry. Thank you so much, and do have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Ernest. Thank you.
Just before we bring Ken Shalimonet on the airwaves to say the last word on the show, we just want to say thank you so much. Anze Mofo, Nyenti Makia, Klo Bonglat, Jeffrey Efua, and of course Julio Batson of the CWT team. Thank you so much for listening, and of course we hope to have Tande again on the airwaves of Apex One Radio. We're now moving to Minnesota to run off this edition of Apex Snapshot with our resource person number 1 in charge of art and cultural issues. Ken, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now,
always a pleasure.
Ken, it's not so common for us to have a cuisine specialist, a nutritionist speak on radio, and food is part of culture. So you listened attentively to the show. Tell me, what did you pick out from?
Well, yeah, listening to the show, I mean, I was extremely impressed. I mean, I had no doubt, because I've been seeing some of the works of Tande on Facebook and the dishes that she has been posting. And, coming from being a daughter of the soil all the way from our Honorable Boyer and from coming from the palace, I had no doubt that she would definitely have a mastery of all the dishes that she puts her hand on, and for sure, definitely, she's a very good cook. And I was very impressed because she really has a knowledge of how someone has to eat, what you have to eat, when you have to eat it, and it really makes a lot of sense. And for sure, I just hope that a lot of people listen to her talk tonight, and they may be able to grab one or two, healthy meal information from her and put it for the system and for their own health.
Now, you are a filmmaker and you've worked with a lot of productions. You are a producer yourself. Tell me, how does it happen as far as welfare on a film location is concerned? How do you guys go about it, and do you face some difficulties with this aspect of production?
Well, as far as welfare is concerned, what usually happens is that we usually make a contract with somebody who is involved in that specific department to be able to provide welfare to the entire cast and crew during the shooting of the movie. And, having the opportunity to listen to somebody like Tande today and seeing what she has done, and, also getting information from different people of what she's done. I wish I had the opportunity to work with her during the set of Victimize to provide some of those delicacies to my actors and actresses. It doesn't mean that I minimize whosoever did it for us, though the person that we hired is not, she's a very good cook too, but normally it's not her profession and in that light. But again, from the good thing is that we've come to know her. We know already what she does, and we know how she do them. So obviously tomorrow, if we are having different productions, we'll definitely have to seek for our expertise on that field.
Right.
And we know for sure that the actors and actresses and the entire crew, they will not be disappointed.
And lastly, talking about healthy eating, do you consider that when you are in a production with your crew?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I consider that a lot. It's extremely very important. But again, like I said, that goes with my own limited knowledge of what it means to eat healthy. With somebody who has an extensive knowledge as that, I know for sure that she'll be able to provide the right recipe that will be good for my actors and actresses during any specific production. So I know what it means to eat healthy. I do everything that I can because I have a wife who also makes sure that I eat healthy and I stay healthy. But again, like I said, during movie production, because my wife also, in as much as she's a very healthy cook and she cooks healthy food, she knows how to go through all that. But again, she decided not to. It's not something that she made it like her profession. But when we are on set, we have somebody like I said, like Tande. Definitely, we'll be extremely impressed because she will be bringing it with her personal skills and talent and knowledge in that field, and then putting her knowledge in there as a professional in the field of cooking. So it will be a pleasure to have somebody like her to direct us on what we need to eat and when and how.
Ken Salimone, thank you so much for giving us the last word on this show. Do have a fantastic rest of the day out there.
Thank you very much. And once more, it's my pleasure as resource person number one. And once more, I say kudos to our beautiful sister all the way from the Southwest Province, Boya.
Thank you.
You must prepare to eat, if you want to marry to a woman. You got to prepare to eat me on the prepare. If you want to marry a woman.
And that's how we put a full stop to this special edition of Apex Snapshot. Special because we had a special person with whom we discussed a very special topic. We hope to come back to that some other time. Tande is her name. And of course, for those of you who listen to the show, we want to say thank you so much. It was a very big and dynamic APEX1RADIO team that monitored the show, which was produced by Maxel Ajik from Varsich, Switzerland, and presented in the studio by NS Kanjo. I'm back tomorrow with Chevron 80 at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the 75th edition of African Fiesta. Until we meet tomorrow, it is bye-bye.
Anywhere you go, it is the same enjoyment and the same trouble. A woman is a woman, a woman is a woman. No matter the tribe, no matter the color, she can do and she can undo. If you want to marry a woman, you got to prepare to eat a chew. If you want to marry my country woman, you got to prepare. If you want to marry a windy woman, you got to prepare to eat bubble. If you want to climb up to the mountain, you got to prepare to eat. Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, African tradition. Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, African tradition. If you want to marry a pretty woman, you got to prepare to eat manamusa. If you want to marry my country woman, you got to prepare. Now hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, African food collection. Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, African food collection. This is African food collection. Bebe mengunami ayo modu ebukando, tek pinga yijago. Bebe mengunami ayo modu yeruba, tek pinga yijago. Bebe mengunami ayo modu eguneko, tek pinga yijago. Hey, Webe mengu namni ayo modwe duwala. Take me where you jack. Webe mengu namni ayo modwe ya wuli. Take me where you jago. Hey hey. Shake up, turn up, shake up, turn up, shake up, turn up, shake up. It's okay.
Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, Africa Food Collection. Hey Africa, hey Africa, hey Africa, Africa Food Collection.
Now the time for job. Any man ready? Do well a woman no. Chop me under. Ya wunde woman no.
Yes.
So bolo. Basa woman. Bongo chopi. Bamenda woman no. So acho. Yoruba. You go chop amala. Hey. Hausa. Kukulu. Yes. Mapere woman no. Natumana musa. Barre woman no. Mukele na pereni. Bamileke woman. You go chop na pi. My country woman. Una mupere ide.